controversies around Inec keep unfolding every day. Fellow Nigerians, it might shock you to know that the company that Inec awarded the contract for the production of sensitive materials for the 2023 elections has been linked to the APC governorship candidate for Adamawa State. And one keeps wondering, where is Inec's credibility? I think it has got to the point that Inec needs to come out to explain to the Nigerian people who did they work with, and under what basis, under what condition, what was the agreement, for them to work with the various companies that they worked with. Because I tell you, more things are yet to unfold. Just take a look at this video.
Before we let you go, I have to ask you, since you're the legal expert, can Inec actually be prosecuted based on awarding the contracts that it did for production of sensitive materials to a company that was linked to the APC governorship candidate?
This is not a coincidence.
So
that it is Binami. No, there is clear conflict of interest. It might not be an offense in the strict sense, but it raises a question on the reputation of Inec, on the credibility of the institution. This is someone that is linked with a company that produces sensitive materials for Inec. She's now the one in this controversy. Inec should come out clean on their relationship with Senator Binani. And in addition to the things I have mentioned, it will be an insult on this country if that company continues to work for Inec. With what she has done, I would have expected that their relationship will be reviewed, that company will be blacklisted, because on what basis will this company continue to produce electoral materials given what Binani has done? So it is even for their own self-interest, but Nigerians must not be taken for granted, because when things like this happen and people are not punished, it emboldens other people to do the worst things.
So are you saying that this is more about their credibility, but that they might not be able to be prosecuted? I just want to be sure if they can.
The law empowers the commission to award contracts.
Yes.
What we will look at is the process of procurement. Was it properly advertised? There is so much. This is over 300 billion was received by Mahmood. Yeah. Most of us do not even know what these monies were used for. The budget of Inec, the contract that were awarded, was it properly advertised? Why was this particular company selected? What is the relationship? Did someone speak to someone behind the scenes? These are questions that must be answered. So it is not just a question of can they be prosecuted. What I am saying is that we need to look at the process of procurement, the process that the contract was awarded. Was there due process? Was it advertised? Was the contract inflated? Was the contract delivered? What are the terms and conditions? And is it morally right? Is it ethically proper for this organization to continue to collect money from Inec, given what Binani has done? That is the question that Mahmood, Festus Okoye, and all of them must explain and answer to Nigerians.
There are so many things that Inec still need to come out to explain to the Nigerian people. They don't need to take us for granted. We all know how they told us that they had glitches, and up to today, Inec has not come out to explain to Nigerians what those glitches were. Not to talk of them even apologizing to the Nigerian people for having failed them. Honestly, if Inec is properly investigated, there are so many dirty games that Inec might have been, into, which they are supposed to come out to explain to the Nigerian people. So guys, I'm going to allow you watch this video. Just take your time, watch this video, and let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you.
The election in Adamawa had moved swiftly from normal to controversial after the resident electoral commissioner, Udu Yunisahari, hurriedly declared APC candidate Binani winner and governor-elect, even when collation was yet to be concluded, knowing fully well that he lacked the powers to make such a declaration. Inec had promptly disowned Udu's action and recommended his arrest before it returned to Adamawa to complete the process that eventually produced Fintiri as the winner.
Udu should be prosecuted, and I believe I'm the right person to prosecute him because he committed the offense in Adamawa, and I'm sure I'm going to prosecute him along with the security chiefs that committed those offenses with him, because they ought to have been the one to protect democracy.
Inibehe Effiong is a human rights and public interest lawyer, and he joins us now to look at the level of the electoral malfeasance that was on display during that supplementary governorship election in Adamawa State, and what measure of sanction could be levied on the identified culprits. Thank you so much for joining us today. It has been indeed a long time, but let's get straight into the crux of the matter. Now, we saw what played out in Adamawa, from the actual false results to, we've seen, a Banani coming out to take her acceptance speech and then going to High Court to get an ex parte injunction. There was all of that back and forth. But now we've seen, the incumbent governor, Infinitiri, back in power. We're talking to Festus Okoye yesterday from Inec, and he had said that they had started working on seeing how they could put that wreck in, to order. What are your thoughts about what happened, and what should be the next steps, legal next steps of prosecution for the parties involved?
Thank you for having me. The electoral malady that we witnessed in Adamawa would not have been possible but for what has become the institutional dysfunction of Inec within the commission, beyond the chairman Mahmood. There seems to be a culture where some persons within the commission could just, do whatever they want to do and then believe that there will be no consequences. For us to have a situation where someone as highly placed as a resident electoral commissioner of a state, who, mind you, supervises all INEC officials in that state, they all report to him. That presupposes that he knows his responsibilities, he knows the extent of his mandate, and he equally knows, or presumably knows, that it is the exclusive responsibility and mandate of the collation and returning officer of that gubernatorial election to make declaration and return. Now, by law, if you look at section 25 of the Electoral Act, it is only the returning officer, as I said, that can make a declaration. INEC, of course, acts through delegation by virtue of section 147 of the Electoral Act. When INEC has delegated powers, that power must be exercised in the manner in which it is delegated. So what we saw was not just a usurpation of power that is vested by law in the returning officer. It was a dubious, it was a fraudulent attempt by an official of the commission who obviously had gone rogue. But what saddens me is not what looks like the attempt at self-redemption by INEC. Because the commission in recent times hasn't really been in the good books. The perception of INEC now is not commendable. So why it is good that they came out to counter, disclaim, and discountenance what the resident electoral commissioner did. Mahmood should be asking himself, why was it possible for the rake, who is under my leadership, to have the effrontery to have done this? What emboldened him? Is it also out of place for us to even probe into the roles he has played throughout his stay in INEC? I think that man should be specially investigated, because what he did was not just an act of partisanship. It was an indication of a man who has derailed from what is supposed to be an unbiased umpire. So I demand, and I join Nigerians to demand, that we want to see expeditious and diligent prosecution. I have read the comments of Lai Mohammed, the Minister of Information, in response to what INEC said, that they have referred the man to the president. Of course, INEC can refer him to the president for the purpose of termination of his appointment, right? That is not out of place, but he does not have immunity from prosecution. So when INEC says they have written to the Inspector General of Police, I think there is need for clarity, and the media must also ask them. The media must ask Mr. Festus Okoye, what is the essence of the letter they have written to the IG? Is it to prosecute the Commissioner of Police, who, by the way, should be prosecuted? Or is it to prosecute the REC? If it is the REC, under what law? Because I know that what the REC did is an offense under Section 120 sub 4 of the Electoral Act, which states unequivocally that any person that makes a declaration or announces a result which that person knows to be false commits an offense, and the punishment is imprisonment for 36 months. And at the time this whimsical declaration was made, collation had not been completed, the process was inchoate, it was still ongoing. So he knew that Binani did not win the election. He did not even have the scores of the election. For him to have gone ahead to make a declaration, that was the man who acted with what we lawyers call mens rea. The criminal intent was present. So there is no basis to delay its prosecution. It is now left for the legal department of INEC to file charges, not only against the REC, but possibly other officers of the commission who aided him. I saw a couple of people seated there.
Since you're talking about prosecution, the governor, Governor Fintiri, has said that he's actually vowed to prosecute the REC to ensure that he files charges against him and to make sure that he goes to jail. And he says his only regret is that this is not happening in Adamawa State and it's happening in Abuja. Since you're the legal expert here, does location make a difference in terms of prosecution, whether it's done in Abuja or in Adamawa State?
It does. It cannot be prosecuted outside Adamawa State. I mean, the Court of Appeal decision in Ibori and FRN, the principle of territorial jurisdiction is clear. It is the locus criminis, the place of commission of the offense, that the offense is triable. For me, what is imperative is that we want to see proper charges in court, because if Fintiri says he is going to direct the Attorney General to prosecute, is it under the penal code? Because under the Electoral Act, by virtue of Section 145 of the Electoral Act, the prosecutorial power in respect of offences under the Act is exclusive to INEC. It is INEC that can prosecute. But if they now want to bring charges under the penal code, maybe the State Attorney General can prosecute. But I will prefer to have INEC prosecute their own. There is nothing that stops, and this is not new really. In Akwa Ibom, my home state, 2 professors were standing trial. One has been convicted, one is still standing trial on account of electoral offense. These were returning officers of INEC. So there is a precedence to show that INEC has prosecuted its own officials. So I expect INEC to file charges against the REC. They have no business waiting for the IG. And on the part of the IG, it is totally embarrassing, scandalous and unacceptable that the Inspector General of Police will simply make a statement or issue a circular, right, or a signal to say, oh, he is redeploying the REC from Adamawa. Where are you sending him to? If you send him to Sambisa Forest, Nigerians will understand, so that he can fight terrorism. But if you are deploying him from Adamawa to another state, to do what? This man did something that violates the police act, the police regulations, his responsibility as a public officer. He committed an offense because he aided and abetted what the REC did. It is not as if the REC put a gun to his neck and forced him there. He is the one who facilitated that. In fact, go and watch the video. You've seen it. When some people even made attempts to attack the REC.
We do have about 5 minutes, so we need to milk
He
your
was protected by the Commissioner of Police.
I mean, I'm just curious. I mean, we've spoken about everybody's role in this. We've spoken about INEC's role in this. We've also spoken about the role of, the police commissioner, who you said was, just sat beside the REC. I wonder if, the fact that, Senator Binani, who is very aware of, the, collation announcements procedures, but still went ahead to give that acceptance speech and still went ahead to take it to court to have, results that we know were not supposed to be upheld, to get an ex parte injunction on that. Do you think that there should be any legal implications for her actions as well?
Not only for her, but with profound respect to our lawyers too, who had the mind to go to court to file that application. Binani is a serving senator, if I'm not mistaken. She's still in the Senate. She swore an oath upon her inauguration to uphold the Constitution. She knows that the collation had not been completed. So for her to have put up herself, make a public announcement, and say she's declaring herself as the governor-elect and is delivering an acceptance speech of what? So I feel what she did is also criminal, and she should equally be prosecuted. But in this country, we politicize crime. It was not just an act of political rascality. What she did merits arrest and investigation. It can even be described as treasonous. So I expect her to answer some questions to law enforcement. The lawyers who filed that application in court, for me, they owe the legal profession an explanation. In the US, 17 lawyers to Donald Trump were sanctioned on account of cases they filed in court after the presidential election in the US. So why is it that in this country, you will have a very senior lawyer, a senior advocate of Nigeria, go to court to seek to stall an electoral process, knowing that what he filed shouldn't have been filed? This could have led to bloodshed.
Yes.
This could have led to anarchy. Houses could have been burnt. So the legal profession should not be seen to be complicit in this kind of electoral malfeasance. That is why I am saying that the Legal Professional Disciplinary Committee and Privileges Committee, the body of benchers, must examine the conduct of the lawyers to Binani and determine whether they should be sanctioned or not.
Mr. Effiong, just before we let you go, I have to ask you, since you're the legal expert, can Inec actually be prosecuted based on awarding the contracts that it did for production of sensitive materials to a company that was linked to the APC governorship candidate?
This is not a coincidence.
So
that it is Binani who... No, there is clear conflict of interest. It might not be an offense in the strict sense, but it raises a question on the reputation of Inec, on the credibility of the institution. This is someone that is linked with a company that produces sensitive materials for Inec. She's now the one in this controversy. Inec should come out clean on their relationship with Senator Binani. And in addition to the things I have mentioned, it will be an insult on this country if that company continues to work for Inec. With what she has done, I would have expected that their relationship will be reviewed, that that company will be blacklisted, because on what basis will this company continue to produce electoral materials given what Binani has done? So it is even for their own self-interest, but Nigerians must not be taken for granted, because when things like this happen and people are not punished, it emboldens other people to do the worst things.
So are you saying that this is more about their credibility, but that they might not be able to be prosecuted? I just want to be sure if they can. The
law empowers the commission to award contracts.
Yes.
What we will look at is the process of procurement. Was it properly advertised? There is so much. This is over 300 billion was received by Mahmood. Yeah. Most of us do not even know what these monies were used for. The budget of Inec, the contract that were awarded, was it properly advertised? Why was this particular company selected? What is the relationship? Did someone speak to someone behind the scenes? These are questions that must be answered. So it is not just a question of can they be prosecuted. What I am saying is that we need to look at the process of procurement, the process that the contract was awarded. Was there due process? Was it advertised? Was the contract inflated? Was the contract delivered? What are the terms and conditions? And is it morally right? Is it ethically proper for this organization to continue to collect money from Inec, given what Binani has done? That is the question that Mahmood, Festus Okoye, and all of them must explain and answer to Nigerians.
Thank you so much, Nibehe Effiong.
So guys, you have heard it for yourself that Inec has so many questions to answer. Inec has got so many questions to answer, you know, but they are not speaking to the Nigerian people, because you know all these people, they feel they have Nigerians in their pocket, they can decide, but gone are those days, because we want our votes to count. We don't just want to come out, take the risk and cast our votes, and then these people will connive with politicians, you know, to silence our voice. No. Inec will have to still come out to explain to the Nigerian people, and you know they will tell us what actually happened on the day of the presidential election. Other results were uploaded, but that of the presidential, which is the most important, wasn't, uploaded. And that is the questions Nigerians keep asking. INEC, don't take Nigerian people for granted. Don't take Nigerian people for granted. I tell you, look at IMF is suggesting to Nigeria to increase their tax so that people will pay more tax. And when people pay this tax, they will use the money to fund bodies like INEC. And at the end of the day, look at what INEC could give to the Nigerian people. This is taxpayers' money being wasted. This is taxpayers' money being wasted by INEC. So guys, that is where we are in the Nigerian politics. Please don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel, give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. Please turn on your notification bell for more uploads and let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you.